Hello, friends, and you are friends. Welcome to the brand new podcast, hosted by Joshua Hadley, and co-hosted by Ian, Freddie, the
Flex Donovan,
big graphics guy. Flex Donovan, he's a longtime streamer with on Gopher and Tech. Of course, I co-host Top of the World with Giggity Gopher. No Gopher though. It's the first time. Well, not the first time. Like there was Tech Thursday, but you know he might guest on this podcast, but it's just me and Flex out here flexing on the new Ring of Honor show Tony Khan's presenting to us.
There was not a lot of flexing on the show. Also, I don't know about that Gopher being a guest on the... He doesn't seem like much of a Ring of Honor person.
I think we might have mods like our friends on if they watch the pay-per-view. Like,
oh yeah, sure. I just don't expect him to.
Yeah. Like I imagine he's not. He might watch Supercard of Honor. I have no idea, but anyway, I figure we ought to introduce what we're doing here. Tony Khan's doing started a new Ring of Honor television show. Well, quote television unquote show. It's an internet show on his streaming service, Honor Club, that we'll talk about here in a minute. But Flex and I decided to start a new podcast. We've been long-time Ring of Honor fans. The first time I watched Ring of Honor was about the pay-per-view Man Up. The main event of that, of course, was El Generico and Kevin Steen wrestling the Briscoe brothers in the first ladder war match for the tag team titles. Fantastic show, made me a fan for the rest of my life. When the Elite were on top, I did sort of dip out of watching, and I didn't really like Cody as world champion. I like Cody as a wrestler. I just never thought of him as a Ring of Honor guy. I did dip in for the pandemic, and I watched I watched pay-per-views back before the St. Clair sold to Tony. What about you, Ian? What's your history with Ring of Honor?
I started watching, I'm guessing, around 2014. I remember watching the Shinsuke Nakamura Kevin Steen match at War of the Worlds. I had seen it, and by it I mean Ring of Honor, before, but I'd watched the TV shows, which I always thought sucked. But when I watched the big shows, I really fell in love. I briefly modded the ROH subreddit. I've had Honor Club since it launched. I have been to Ring of Honor shows in 3 different states. I love Ring of Honor, mainly from 2014 on, but I would say I watched my fair bit of the original, well, not the original, but the first decade or so of Ring of Honor, via Honor Club and via DVDs.
Wait, you were watching the OG Ring of Honor where they announced put a woman through the table and Rob Feinstein was running it with
No, I didn't see any of the Rob Feinstein basement videos.
Have you ever seen those matches? I think all the old shows are up. It looks really rough. They're doing shows in a high school gym and whatnot. Although they did have Eddie Guerrero. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah. They also had Jeff Hardy, but Jeff Hardy didn't know it.
True. Anyway, that's our history with Ring of Honor. But now Tony Khan is bought Ring of Honor from St. Clair, which sounds like it's going out of business. They're a bunch of assholes anyway, so screw them.
Seconded. I agree with that.
Yeah. So Tony Khan's, I think Honor Club existed as a thing before, during the St. Clair days, I believe, if I remember correctly. And Tony Khan bought the company, and it's a new site. It sort of there's a bunch of the stuff that was on the old Honor Club that's on there with new stuff on there. I don't think they had all the old shows from 2002 uploaded on there.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, back when St. Clair owns it, and I believe it's all on there now that Khan owns it instead. Um, it. I don't know what if this is like like I don't know if this is a great business idea. I'll say I was very upset when the National Wrestling Alliance, Billy Corgan, when he put NWA Fire or NWA Power on Fight to where you had to pay for it to watch the show. Like, it's just ridiculous to me. And how much business sense does that make? Like that sort of like this sort of like makes it so that the viewing audience of this show is just the hardest of hardcore fans, which is fine. But is that a good business model?
Oh, for sure, no. And if you paid attention to Ring of Honor in like the 3 years before Tony Khan bought it, you would know that it is not a business model that will turn money, because even with the Elite, even with Cody, even with all of the top New Japan guys, Ring of Honor would put on big shows on Honor Club. You would get access to their TV on Honor Club, and so few people were actually watching those shows. I mean, you talk to people about Ring of Honor, what happened during those 3 years, and the people that they'll tell you, Matt Taven sucks. Well, they didn't watch any of the shows. So if Nick Jackson, Matt Jackson, Cody Rhodes, Redacted, the guy from England, if the Bullet Club and New Japan can't get those people to watch on Honor Club, I don't know how Tony Khan is. I watched this show, and probably an hour in, I thought, oh, he's not even trying to make money. This is charity. This is just, he feels bad. He didn't get the TV deal he wanted, and this is it.
Yeah, to me, we'll talk about this later. It didn't feel like a normal episode of like Dark, but it's there. It's not dark, but dark, like what Dark is, felt like it infected what what I think of as Ring of Honor wrestling. Like we got the Trustbusters, whatnot. But anyway, I did fine watching Honor Club streaming. I'm home alone. I don't know if it'll work as well with other people here. Hopefully, it goes fine. I think it only buffered 4 times the 2 hours I watched the other night.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
When I went to watch it, it was 7:30 Thursday. I did not realize it was starting at 6:59 Thursday, and there was no option on Honor Club to watch from the beginning. So, Tony, I know you're not going to hear this, but telepathically, I'm communicating to you. Get a watch from the start function.
I mean, how many people are going into the live streams? This is all pre-recorded anyway. It's not like we're watching a live feed of something happening right before our eyes. Like, why doesn't he just put the VOD up as the premiere?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I realized, like, when WWE did their streaming service, the network, most people watch things on their live stream, but like, are people doing that with the hardcores doing that with Ring of Honor?
It's a weird time to do it, because it's starting at 7 o'clock. The West Coast is not out of work. It's a Thursday at 4 o'clock on the West Coast.
Yeah, I just don't get why you don't just debut it like as the video itself. Is there? I think we're ready to move on to the next topic. I was really upset when I heard it was gonna be a 2-hour show. I think I get what Tony Khan's thinking here. We just talked earlier, like, the hardest of the hardcore fans are gonna watch the show. To see it, you have to pay for Honor Club. So I imagine Tony's thinking, oh man, I gotta get the fans' value into watching this. Tony, look, Tony, here's your competition. WWE is your main competitor. For $5 a month, we could get Peacock, and we get all the shows, all the pay-per-views. Like, the pay-per-views aren't going to go live on Honor Club. You have to go to Fight. Why don't you just get, like, here's the thing. A 2-hour show is a big commitment for me, especially working, and like trying to do a whole bunch of other things. Like Fridays I record Top of the World with Gopher, and I actually because of that, I'll take a break from going on the treadmill that day to do the show instead. Like I try to keep busy. Like in a 2-hour show, like I said, I get what he's thinking, but that's a big commitment. And the competition, they'll put the pay-per-views on their $5 streaming service. Like, why can't, I'd prefer having an hour show and like being able to watch the pay-per-views as well.
Okay.
I don't.
My rebuttal to that would be, if Tony Khan was trying to provide value to the people watching, he would have had a better card.
Yeah.
So I can't believe it's about value. I don't know why he went with 2 hours, but I guess the best guess I could come up with is he's trying to get a wide variety of people work. He's trying to be very charitable to the wrestlers that maybe don't have contracts, because there are matches on this show that for a debut episode of a TV show that is trying to get a paid TV deal that just simply would not be on here. There are matches on this show that would fit on NWA's TV, which is horrible.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, like NWA Power often to me is as good as Dark is. Like sort of like it's a different kind of show than Dark, but
yes.
when I give the final rating, they rate about the same, like on Cage Match.
I get what you mean, and it's just funny.
Yeah,
you're not saying it funny. It's just funny that NWA Power and Dark are about the same.
Yeah. This billion-dollar operations, like able to do a show, like when they do their YouTube show, it's about as good as like what's going on with Billy Corgan and stuff.
and that $1 billion guy, he's got guys making 6 figures, guys and girls making 6 figures on that Dark show.
Well, now a lot of them are on this Ring of Honor show. Like we got Daivari, Take. Well, it takes.
We'll get to everybody.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to the show now. The open. Well, I just wanted a real quick comment. It did sort of bother me that we didn't get no opener like the intro to the show.
Yes.
We just went straight to the match.
Why wasn't there an intro package? I understand why it was in the Impact Zone, but it felt so wrong that it was in the Impact Zone. This is supposed to be Ring of Honor, and it felt more like a TNA revival.
Oh, dude, that's the building where they taped Dark.
I know, but
yeah, it is like I don't think it's the original Impact Zone. I think it is a building used by TNA at a different point.
Yeah.
It is like it's Universal Studios. It's audience. It's sort of like the Dark audience, sort of. There could have been like Ring of Honor fans in Florida that made their way in there, but yeah, it's actually what I expected. Honestly, like I wish Tony would take this environment and like do a studio wrestling show instead of like doing this instead. Like you're in the same building all the time. Like why not?
I would like them to do anything that's different than their other shows, but we'll see.
Anyway, there was a controversy over the opening match. Like Mark Briscoe's the perfect guy to choose, but people don't understand why. Like people like me are upset that Slim J's in the opening match. It's Slim J. Like some people were trying to say like Slim J's like a Ring of Honor legend. Like the dude like that'd be like saying like we need a Ring of Honor legend. Let's like get Mafia Mac or something. He at least he was a Ring of Honor tag team champion. Let's get Sal Rennero or whatever. Slim J. He was in Special K Ecstasy.
Which I do not care about.
Yeah, he was in the promotion for a couple matches.
Who wasn't?
To me, honestly, without any context, without the context of what's going on in AEW, this would have been fine. But Slim J's in the Trustbusters. It is the worst stable. Sorry, guys. That's why I don't like him.
His theme song sucks. I just wanted to add that. Also, he's had less matches in Ring of Honor than Papa Briscoe, hasn't he?
I thought he had 10 or something.
Maybe.
But Papa Briscoe is more known to Ring of Honor than Slim J. Sorry, guys.
Papa Briscoe had more main events.
Yeah. Anyway, somehow I missed it. Did you see how Mark Briscoe got opened up during the match?
Yes. I don't remember whether it was a springboard off the second rope or it was a jump off the top rope, but Slim J did a jumping, turning kick, and he hit shin right into the forehead. It wasn't foot, but he got him with a shin pretty good.
I see. I figured it looked like he might have gotten a hard way. I think this was too competitive in Slim J's favor.
Which is
considering where he is on the card.
That's a hallmark of a Tony Khan book show. You gotta have every match has to be competitive, even though
that is true.
I have to say this from my notes. How does Slim J simultaneously look 12 and 52 years old?
Anyway, finished the match. I don't remember much else. Finish of the match was
Jay Driller.
I was gonna say, Slim J got all the way to the Froggy Bowl, and then Mark hit the Jay Driller.
Yeah,
I remember Mark doing the neck breaker the way doing it Jay would.
Yeah,
I think that's the first time I've seen him do that. I didn't watch the AEW match yet though.
I don't know how far this Jay Briscoe tribute match style will take Mark. But I don't know. I'm not gonna say he shouldn't do it if that's what he wants to do, but it feels sort of like Chavo Guerrero doing Eddie's shtick. I love Mark Briscoe. I want to see the chicken.
Yeah.
I don't mind if he uses the J Driller, but I hope he doesn't go too far with it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, hopefully, I'm fine with him breaking out the J Driller, but I like the Froggy Bowl. Is his finish?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's gonna get a match with down the line for his TV title, which has been his goal for several years now. That's when Jay was champion, he was always saying, he doesn't want to beat Jay for the title. He wants to be the TV champion. I don't know if that's where he's going, but I have a feeling he would have a hard time hitting Samoa Joe with a safe Jay Driller.
What are you talking about? He might have to wrestle this guy who did a promo next, Tony Deppen.
No, he won't.
What? No, Tony. He brought out he was cosplaying Chris Jericho. He brought out the list. He was trying to do some kind of freaking promo. No one thinks he's winning the title. Come on.
What was he cosplaying Chris Jericho, or was he just really bad?
He might. Well, Chris Jericho's really bad, so.
Oh, come on! He's no Tony Deppen. I remember Tony Deppen was getting so much hype from the indie wrestling fans. I watched him versus Swerve Strickland and Defy, I want to say. That might be incorrect, but I think that's true. And he sucked. I've never seen Tony Deppen look good in a wrestling match. Tony, if you hear this, I'm sorry. I think you suck. But I once yelled, "You suck" at Adam Page, and look how great he turned out. So.
Well, Tony, you can be the next Adam Page. You know, you can just become a drunk. You can lose all your friends.
In 8 years, if you put in all of the hard work, you can become Adam Page. But Tony, please don't write down how to do this on a piece of paper. Just go out there and do it. No more reading off the paper, bud.
Yeah. Okay, so next match was your favorite tag team, the Infantry, taking on the Kingdom. And I gotta say, I really want the Kingdom to get new music. It just like the songs don't even mix together well. Like Jarrah shows back when they were a thing, tag team. I thought that when they combined their music was very fun. This is really lazy. Plus, it just makes me think of Adam Cole.
Right. When they came out, I thought the crowd was dead. But later on, I realized they didn't mic the crowd. So I don't know if there was reaction to the Kingdom or not.
I don't think there would be. They never pushed on AEW or anything.
Right, but these... the Infantry got a pop. They've never been pushed on AEW. Isn't Shawn Dean 1 in 78 or something?
Something.
Yeah. Well, I liked this match. I like the Infantry.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to play our game.
We'll
have to start.
Keep them all. Get rid of Slim J and Daivari. Cut them.
I mainly want to talk about how badly I want Mark Sterling off this fucking show.
Oh, he's gonna come back up. He's gonna come back up.
Okay.
you know what? That just reminds me. He's sort of all over the show, and that's so fucked up.
I hate anybody that likes him. I'm sorry. He is the complete antithesis to Ring of Honor. I don't I get the gimmick, and if you think wrestling is meant to be silly and haha and great. But he's the kind of guy that should be doing managing somebody on PWG, and his guys his client's finisher is the thumb in the butt.
There you go.
Get him off Ring of Honor. I don't need silly shit on a 5th fucking AEW show, please.
Yeah. Anyway, the Kingdom one, that was the right finish there.
Yeah, clearly.
Finally, to get the W.
Yeah, I wrote at one point, and I deleted it, that Matt Taven was the best wrestler on the show because he made Carly Bravo look very good. Matt Taven is so underrated, but probably not the best wrestler on the show.
No, a lot of people would say it was up next. Was the New Japan World Television title match. Zack Sabre Jr. defended against Blake Christian. This was a fun match. I wasn't really into Blake's pre-match promo, but I think Zack was very good. I'll say the placement was very strange. If this was any of the previous Ring of Honor's incarnations, this would have been before the main event.
Yeah, thinking about it, it's almost like this was the main event, and they taped it to do 2 1-hour shows, and then Tony decided to do 2 hours instead of 2 1-hour shows.
That could be true.
I'm not sure, but it is weird. You would think that this would have been the co-main. I'm not a fan of this title being on the show. I don't understand why AEW has 4 TV titles that are on their shows now. We're
gonna have the Dark King of the Dark matches. We gotta have the Iron Man champion. Everyone's gotta come out with belts. If Nick Goulas was picking this promotion, he'll just all right, this guy's the European champion. This guy's the South American World Junior Heavyweight champion. That's what Tony Khan's gonna do. It's how the show's gonna be in a few years. When are we gonna get the Ring of Honor Brass Knuckles champion?
Oh, well, if Mark Sterling fits on the show, then maybe anybody does. Maybe everybody does.
Yeah.
I was just imagining if in Ohio Valley Wrestling, if Batista came out of the river, if he was already the champion of the river. Anybody who comes out of the river as a champion is over. You know that.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I wish Tony wouldn't do this. When it's very sparse, it's a cool thing. Like, oh, it's a champion from a different company. But this happens all the time, and there's already so many titles in both AEW and Ring of Honor as is.
Way too many. There was a point in time not so long ago that between Ring of Honor and New Japan, I thought they had the only 3 titles in the world that meant anything, and now all of those titles mean nothing.
Yeah.
And not a single belt on AEW TV means anything.
What are you talking about? The All Atlantic titles not prestigious?
So I saw Orange Cassidy just set the record for most successful defenses of a championship in AEW, something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, that title exists.
He's the perfect person to break the record. Honestly.
I had forgot the title existed.
I'll never forget. And just the fact that our friends are like, oh man, he's bringing the title in the bag. Wow. Come on. Wow. Anyway, Zack didn't bring his title in the bag. He retained. If we could have more of him and Blake on the show, that would be great. What do you think?
I would like more of Zack. Blake, I think we got the right amount. I'm not burying him, but, I think more would be...
Come on, he needs to do the job to Grizzly Redwood when he makes his debut.
Something I put in my notes that I would like your opinion on about the match was if Paul Heyman was booking Ring of Honor and could sign Zack Sabre Jr., he would be champion for a year.
Yeah, I think so. Who else has that sort of old Ring of Honor vibe? Other than maybe Claudio,
he doesn't to me. We'll talk about it later. He called out Bryan Danielson at the end of the match. What'd you think about it?
Come on, the match ain't gonna happen. Is the match gonna happen?
Oh yeah.
Might.
Tony Khan's gonna let Bryan Danielson do the G1. I'd bet anything.
It's interesting that when it happened, I just couldn't help but think is this really gonna happen, dude? We're sort of 2 worlds apart. It's not it didn't excite me at all because I just don't have any I can't imagine Zack defeating Danielson.
Maybe
this is all Elite Wrestling, so fucking Daniel Garcia beat Bryan Danielson. So what the hell do I know? What the hell do I know?
Well, maybe it'll main event Forbidden Door too. Are they? I don't know if they're gonna do one, but it won the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Award for Show of the Year, right? So
yeah, that's true.
They got to do another one, and maybe that'll be the main event. What the hell else could?
Actually, that for Forbidden Door, that might be a great main event. I think they'll have to build Zack up more on actual TV people will see instead of this.
Right, but you got to beat people. I'm not trying to bury Blake Christian. You want to build him up as a legitimate threat to Bryan Danielson. He's got to beat people. He's got to beat stars.
Yeah.
Or whatever the AEW equivalent is.
We don't want the match to just happen and it's Bryan Danielson versus Brian Cage. We're doing this cold. Anyway, let's see. Oh, I couldn't help but keep thinking man, Christopher Daniels is so old. He's only 51, but it's nice to see him here. I still like the best moonsault ever, but I couldn't help but oh man, he's so old now.
Yeah, he is the Dustin Rhodes of this promotion, I gather. But this is the first match on this card, on this show, where I'm come on, man. There's no way this had to be 2 hours. There's no way.
Yeah.
Because, no, come on. Like, I mean, it's the debut show.
I mean, I could, like, all I was thinking was, like, watching this, like, it sure is nice to see Christopher Daniels, like, but, like, we don't need that. We don't really need that, honestly.
And he's Christopher Daniels, and you're in Orlando, Florida. He's not more over after winning this match. Christopher Daniels in Orlando, Florida is as over now as he's going to be tomorrow and 10 years from now. He didn't need to win.
It's a nice thing for, like, oh, Ring of Honor's back. We're going to put Christopher Daniels on the show. Like, going forward, he can't be someone who's, like, winning matches like this all the time.
I think mid-card, I think, like, works with the newer talent, I guess. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a main eventer.
He's gonna feud with Slim J.
He could. He really could. He's not a newer talent, but
let's see.
So after that, we went backstage for a trade. It started with just Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus.
Oh, that's right, this promo.
And then Delirious was booking because you said that you did not watch Ring of Honor a lot in the last 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. During that time, at least 5 different stables used the exact phrase "restore honor."
Like
and
the
that is, yeah, and they were not remotely the first. The first, I want to say, was the stable. I forget what it was called, but it had the Motor City Machine Guns and Jay White in it. It was a while ago.
Seek and Destroy?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Seek and Destroy.
Yeah, so they used the phrase "restore honor," and I wrote, "Bullshit again? Is Delirious booking this?" And then Aussie Open showed up, and, that'll happen.
Well, I think we're just getting this, not because, of course, not Delirious isn't booking this. Dude's in TNA, but it is, like, is stable that was on top before Ring of Honor went out. Like, it sort of seems like this thing, like, we got a little bit of, like, the old Ring of Honor left, and I don't, from looking at results, I don't think the foundation's going to last much longer.
I like Tracy Williams and Rhett. I like them as a team. I think they could use those guys. I don't know if they should beat Aussie Open. I don't know if they should ever be tag team champions, but you look at the guys that are on this show, and there are a lot of people worse than Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just thinking, like, I'm not talking about how I feel about them as wrestlers, just, like, their perception.
Oh, yeah.
In the grand scheme of things.
Well, it's like I said, nobody watched those shows. Like, 5,000 people were watching Honor Club. So, like, I love Tracy Williams, but, yeah, they're gonna... I'm guessing Tony Khan... How many people watch Dark? Like, 200,000?
Something like that.
So, a majority of these people don't watch, or never saw Tracy Williams, never saw the tag scene with Rhett Titus, probably don't care.
Probably never saw Brutal Bob either.
Oh, I saw Brutal Bob in person twice.
Okay. See, after this, what was the match? Oh, it was your favorite wrestler. No, wait. There was a promo with the fucking smart Mark Sterling and Take a Shit.
I did not put that in my notes. I wanted to forget that it happened.
So
I hate Mark Sterling so much, dude.
He's the worst manager. Like, that's understating it. He's the worst thing on the show, honestly.
He's the thing that makes me the most mad, and I was mad a lot. Like, I complained about 10 things before the first match started, and the thing that upset me the most was that he was here at all.
Why
stay on AEW.
Why does he get to talk, like, and we never get to hear from Prince Nana? Like, the hell?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, so Mark Sterling's like, I'll like, what was the deal? I don't remember. Like, he was saying
he'll pay him 40% of the purse to not have the match or something. Maybe it was going to be a count out. I don't quite remember, but something like 40% of the purse. He got his cut, and Josh Woods wanted a different opponent in his match, in his first match on the new Ring of Honor, which is silly because Konosuke Takeshita was one of the bigger stars on the show.
Yeah.
Like, who would have been bigger for him? He was gonna wrestle Claudio. I don't know.
Nah, I bet. I bet. I'm trying to think of someone like Chris Hero was backstage. Nah, he probably works for WWE, right?
No, I don't think he does. I don't think Chris Hero has. Last thing I know that he did in wrestling was agenting for a Ring of Honor show.
That would have been amazing. Never. I'll have to talk about this later. If Wheeler did his promo, I was just imagining what if someone like Hulk Hogan why don't you do something crazy? Tim's someone okay, I can get this, but why don't you do something off the wall? Anyway, Mark Sterling sucks. So then the match happened. Take a shit wrestles Josh the Goods Woods, or what's his name?
That's right. Well, I don't know. I don't care either. He's Josh the Goods Woods to me, except not really, because what do you think of the match?
I liked the match. The only parts I didn't like was when Mark Sterling made me pay attention to him.
Okay. This might come as a surprise, probably to everybody. This is the best Josh Woods match I've ever seen. And he called this match. I thought it was really good. A really good performance from Josh Woods. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of Josh Woods the last 5 years. So I thought if we were playing our game, which maybe we'll play at the end of the show, definitely keep Josh Woods.
Absolutely. Get rid of his manager, though. He needs to go.
Send him to... I don't think he should be unemployed, but he doesn't have to be here. Can we get Dan Lambert on this show? I love Dan Lambert.
Mark Sterling could, if he gets unemployed, he could go work for TNA or something. Come on.
Tony Khan doesn't have it in him to fire somebody. He's trying to give Brian Cage a new 10-year deal.
Yeah, he's resign, Cage, resign. Anyway, talking about Cage. Actually, it's perfect timing because up next, the Embassy wrestled some job guys: Joe Keys, LSG, who was in the old Ring of Honor, Rex Lawless. Interesting start to the match. They're all afraid of the Embassy, and the Embassy surrounds the ring, kind of strange thing. I don't get why they were in the middle of the ring afraid. You'd think they'd be in the corner of the ring, thinking what are they doing?
Well, at least they were selling for him. Yeah. They're not like Santino Marella.
I guess
can't sell for the boogeyman.
Yep.
And my only note on this match is the only good wrestler in this match is Leon St. Giovanni. True. I mean it. The only good wrestler. I think Khan and Toa Leona have a lot of potential. I hate watching Brian Cage do anything. Joe Keys wasn't good enough to get on TV in the old Ring of Honor, so I don't know. And I've never even heard of Rex Lawless, so.
Yeah, me neither. Let's see. Was there any other promos, or was the next match up next? I'm thinking here.
I think the match was up next.
So, once again, fucking asshole has to come out. Mark Sterling with the Trustbusters are back. Daivari, the leader of the thing, wrestled. What did he wrestle?
Metalik.
Oh yeah, from WWE.
Mascara Dorada.
This is the first time I think I've seen Metalik. He does cool stuff. I remember one botch. I think he should have beat Daivari, although I hate the Trustbusters.
I was surprised that Daivari won, but I think Daivari is a good fit in Ring of Honor going forward, and I don't think Metalik is.
That's true, but like Daivari has this big problem called Smart Mark Sterling, like a cancer or a parasite that he needs to get rid of.
Well, when I saw Grand Metalik in WWE, I thought that he had a lot of potential, but they're presenting him as the rope master and really emphasizing the cool stuff he does on the ropes. So he's like a one line gimmick. I don't know. It just seems like it would fit better in AEW. You know, put him with Orange Cassidy and Danhausen, and you know.
Well, he wrestles on Dark.
Okay, well, I don't agree with co-mingling. Ring of Honor should have its own roster. It shouldn't be on Dark. It shouldn't be on Dynamite.
I think like a handful of people could be on the same show. But what they're doing right now, we need more exclusive people. We can talk about Eddie later.
Right. Then it was backstage promo with AR Fox.
I'm sorry. When I saw AR Fox, I couldn't help but think, why is he cosplaying as Slim J?
Did you really?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's my thought. I think this might be the second or third time I've seen AR Fox wrestle.
Okay, so the gist of his promo was he tried out for Ring of Honor 10 years ago, and then he goes, "Now look at me. I'm competing for the world title in the main event." And I thought, wow, none of that is good. He was not believable.
He doesn't look like someone who should be in the main event of a fight show, or if this was UFC, I wouldn't expect I'm challenging for the UFC heavyweight title and he's dressed up like Slim J. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't mind AR Fox, but I thought this was a bad promo. But I mean, this was a whole show of bad promos, so
I wish there was more. Well, actually, I don't, because then Mark Sterling would have showed up. There's that. I have to be afraid. Anytime they're backstage, please, Mark, don't show. Anyway, let's see. Madison Rayne showed up with Skye Blue to wrestle the Renegade Twins, who are, once again, we got more dark wrestlers, but wrestlers who wrestle on dark. The match was there. I like Madison Rayne. That's all I got out of that. We could actually cut all of these people as much as I even like Madison.
My notes. This, if ever there was a match designed to tell you this is rebranded AEW Dark, this is it. Yeah. This is the debut episode. It's downhill from this? And also Skye Blue's finisher sucks. I think Skye Blue has potential. If Ring of Honor is going to be to AEW what NXT was supposed to be to WWE, and they're going to send people that need work there instead of Dark, then I'm fine with keeping Skye Blue. And I'm fine with keeping Madison Rayne to teach them. I don't know why this was on the show. This was just another example of them really desperate to get to 2 hours, because this was not necessary at all. It
wasn't necessary. No one was paying to see this. Next match was Willow Nightingale versus Lady Frost I remember her from TNA and Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
Between those two matches, though, there were 3 segments.
Was there? I forget.
There was a 5-second video package saying we're going to get to see Dalton Castle next week.
Oh, that's actually exciting.
Then Ian Riccaboni went to the ring to call Wheeler Yuta to the ring.
Oh yeah, it was this.
Yeah.
I was actually I remember before we recorded, we were talking, and Ian was asking, "Can we just skip this?" No way, we can't just skip it. I was gonna do it on accident, but this happened. This fucking crap.
In my notes, I wrote, where is it? Ian Riccaboni going to the ring to bring out Wheeler Yuta to make him feel like a bigger deal isn't going to make him feel like a bigger deal. Wheeler Yuta, I don't know how AEW people feel about him. I don't know. I liked Wheeler Yuta when he was in the Pure title tournament. I like him now. Yeah. He's just not a big deal. He's just a guy that is developing as a talent.
I dislike him now. See, the thing is, like, he's not a good promo. Like,
no,
he was never a good promo. But here, like, he doesn't need to have like a whiny character. You know, he's not good at even doing that. Like, you know, why are they asking him to play a character at all? He can't even do a promo. But you know, he's acting whiny. He's very dislikable. I mean, doesn't come off like a champion to me.
No.
At all.
No, especially if you're going to put him really in a similar style to Zack Sabre Jr. on the same show as Zack Sabre Jr., who's also the other champion, and Claudio. But, I mean, just those are the three champions on this show, right? Claudio, Zack Sabre Jr., Wheeler Yuta. There's one that really stands out as lacking compared to the others.
Absolutely. We don't even need a pure look. I like the pure matches. Like if we need to keep the pure title just for that, okay. But you know, again, it's like it's too many belts on the show.
I don't like the pure title. I love pure matches. I think it should be used as like a specialty match. In my opinion, there should be way more pure wrestling. It's called Ring of Honor. That's the essence of Ring of Honor. Breaking it down to one division in the show, I think really defeats the purpose of having a Ring of Honor.
Yeah. You know what? I would do it this way. I would, you know, these rules, the pure title match rules, comes from Jim Barnett's World Championship Wrestling in Australia. That's just the rules of the promotion. Like all the matches, like I'd go in that direction, but you know me, I'd make jumping off the top rope illegal and throwing someone over the top rope illegal. So, okay. And like I'd have to meet the fans somewhere in the middle, and they'll still hate
me. After that, we got another 5-second video package.
Oh wait, really
Samoa
quick,
Joe.
We didn't mention Timothy Thatcher came out and challenged old Wheeler. And Tim better win.
He's not gonna win. I wrote in my notes. I guess this was written to let the live crowd breathe because it sounds like they just tape match after match after match, which for 4 hours probably was quite exhausting. But as far as actually presenting this on TV, this would have been so much better with Riccaboni at the desk, shooting to a clip, 15 seconds, Wheeler Yuta comes out to the ring, is interrupted. You know, you don't have to show him cutting promos. Just, Timothy Thatcher confronted Wheeler Yuta. We'll see him whenever. But, I don't know. Like, I'm fine with you doing... in fact, they should do more segments. You can't do match after match after match to a live crowd. Not for 4 hours.
I mean, this should be more like a studio... Like I keep saying it should be more like a studio wrestling show instead of, you know, more dark.
Yeah.
Then we heard from Claudio, right?
Possibly. It's not in my notes.
Claudio spoke in Swedish for a bit. That was cool. You know, Claudio to me does come off as someone who should be leading this promotion right now. I think he's the right choice for that. So is that when we got Willow Nightingale versus Lady Frost? You know, Willow, I remember seeing her when she started in Ring of Honor, and she seemed to become more and more of a character. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
I'm fine with having people like that in wrestling. I think it's taken too far though with her at times.
She's a weird fit in Ring of Honor. Somebody else that I think would be better off in AEW's world. But this was good.
Yeah.
I like.
She's a veteran. Been all over the Indies. TNA.
I've seen her live at a Ring of Honor show.
Oh man, I didn't remember her in Ring of Honor shoot, but
she did.
I've been watching.
So I don't know if it was on the show I watched, but at that time, like either before intermission or after intermission, and then at the start of the show, they would tape matches at the live events to put on YouTube for Women of Honor, and it was one of those matches.
Ah, man, I missed that episode. Actually, I think I was like trying to watch the whole series, and I got maybe 10 weeks in or something.
Well, maybe you can pick it back up.
I think I could, because I think it's still all on the
yeah, probably
YouTube. I actually do like I would go. It's probably something I'll do because the episodes are less than a half hour, so it's like watching Wrestling Society X to me, which I'm doing as well. Anyway, that was a good match. It's gonna be Willow versus Athena on TV for the title. I've never seen much Athena. Like, the only match I could remember watching her in was when Ring of Honor did one of those weird shows. I don't remember if it was a night. I think it was a night of Hoopla, where Michael Elgin teamed with his wife Mischief against Athena and some other person. I don't remember. I think that's the only time I've ever seen her wrestle.
She, to me, is a little overrated. Like, she's got a great finisher and everybody loves her finisher. But I feel like people... It's sort of like P.D. Williams syndrome, where the finisher is so good, people are like, they're the best. I don't know.
I don't even know if she's overrated, because I don't ever see like the love. Like, I'll never see
the
love. Okay,
maybe she was overrated when she was in NXT. Maybe that's a more.
Could be that. Anyway, I don't really feel her like when she came out, like, oh gee, this is fantastic. Like, the crowd was quiet during that segment.
Well, they didn't mic the crowd.
Well, that's true. Like, if they're like, oh, it's Athena, ah! Like, we would have known. I guess that's the one, Tony was like, in the old Ring of Honor, they had bad production, so let's not mic the crowd, just to get the old feel back.
I didn't think the production was great here, but I missed the bad production.
Anyway, let's move on to main event time. Ring of Honor World Title match. AR Fox challenging Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor World Title. I felt like when I was watching, they're trying to do a Ring of Honor Classic World Title style match in 15 minutes. I like the match. It's not gonna be something I ever revisit, but I think it was fine for TV.
I agree with that. First note I wanted to say, I miss, and I didn't realize till this match, I miss Bobby Cruz saying, "This is your TV main event," so much.
Oh, yeah.
He almost said it. He said, "This is your main event, not your TV main event." It made me a little sad. I don't know if I'll ever get to hear it again. Change sucks. Bring back 2016. Also, Claudio's theme sucks.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's not a wrestling theme.
Yeah, it's like a bad Jim. Like, if Jim Johnston was like, man, fuck, I got a cold. I need to get some entrance music for this guy out. Let's go. Like, I felt like that's what this felt like to me.
If you were gonna make a montage video of Claudio training for a match, then it would be great for that. But it's not a wrestling theme. Please get a new theme.
Yeah, it doesn't sound badass. Doesn't get me excited to see whoever's coming out. Like,
no. In the ending sequence, AR Fox got chants from the crowd. Were you surprised?
I was, because I didn't know he was popular at all. Or, like, he doesn't seem like he's pushed well in AEW. Like, the only time I ever hear about him, like, I listen to Jim Cornette's podcast. He seems to be losing on Dynamite every time he's on. So I didn't think, like, he was this... Like, I was wondering why, like, before this match, I guess I forgot to talk about this. I was wondering, like, why is AR Fox getting a world title match? He loses and loses on Dynamite. It just seemed like one of those things where, like, Tony Khan's, like, we talked about this, like, oh, we got him signed, so we're gonna put him on the show, and because he's wrestling Claudio, he's getting a world title match. Like, I didn't understand why he was getting a world title match. Like, I get, like, they did a thing where Claudio lost on Rampage because of Fox costing them money. So,
but
like, yeah, go ahead.
That doesn't make sense. Like, that's the logic they used as to why this match was happening. That doesn't make sense as to why it would become a world title match.
See, look, I'll do some fantasy booking. Here's, like, all right, we gotta do. This is the match we gotta have. Here's what we do. We do the same sequence of events, but Claudio says, "Oh, AR Fox, you're a piece of shit. I'm wrestling you on the first episode of Ring of Honor on Honor Club." And AR Fox says, "No, I don't need to wrestle you." And like I need an incentive. And Claudio, Tony Khan's just standing right there. All right. Ring of Honor World Title match on the line. Yes or no? If you're a real man, step up to the challenge. Step up to the plate. And, like, that's how I would have done it. But, I guess I think more of, like, what if this was Mid-South or something?
I would simply have not done it. I don't think AR Fox is a good opponent for Claudio. I think it really made Tony look foolish because okay, let me take that back. Let me walk that back a little bit. Right up until the ending of this show, it made Tony seem foolish. Because I don't think they designed, or they necessarily wanted, Claudio's opponent to be getting babyface chants over him. I think that this whole time they've been trying to build up Claudio as a top babyface. But it's very hard to do when all of his opponents are much smaller than him.
Oh, I thought they meant to have him be heelish, especially considering the post match. But we can talk about that here in a minute.
I think they did at the post match for sure. I don't think until the post match they did.
This is what Tony's doing here. Is he knows, like, when Ring of Honor champions hold the title for a while, the fans will turn on him. So
yes, anybody.
So the babyface gets the big title win, the champion, and the fans are like, "Man, fuck this guy."
Man,
every time.
The fastest I ever saw was Christopher Daniels.
That's true.
Didn't even last a week. He won that belt, and people were like instantly, "Get it on somebody else." He's old.
Oh, and anyway, any more comments on the match? Are you ready to talk about?
Let's talk about the finish. Finish of the show.
So on Twitter, I saw Eddie quit AEW, so he's a free agent. Eddie Kingston. He came out after Claudio retained the title and said he's in Ring of Honor now, which I think that's exciting. It's sort of like the opposite of what we want, though. We're hoping for, like, more exclusive talent and maybe, like, one or two, like, guys we share with that go on AEW Dark instead of, we got Eddie is the one exclusive guy.
I think if Eddie's exclusive, he's a hell of an exclusive guy to have.
That's true. That's a big name. I wish he would have got better booking in AEW.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna get better booking in Ring of Honor, but he's gonna on the Ring of Honor universe, he's gonna be the top. He's gonna be a top guy, so I think that's a good thing.
Completely agree. I do think that this is a weird choice for a first major feud, but I also think I'll give Tony the benefit of the doubt. He doesn't have a lot of good options with FTR's contracts coming up in April. And
they're definitely going.
Jay Briscoe having deceased, There's not a lot of good options out there for the first major feud. Because why it's weird is it's a Chikara feud. It's a Ring of Honor revival where the main event is a Chikara feud.
Yeah.
It's weird. Now, I don't give a shit about Chikara, and I am a fan of Chikara Erasure. Nobody should bring it up, but, I just did. So, I don't know.
There were things I liked about Chikara, but it was, way too goofy of a promotion.
Yeah. The only part I liked was Bob Saget. Everything else...
you're telling me you didn't like the guy who would freeze everyone mid match and attack them so that when the match resumed everyone would be hurt. You didn't enjoy that comedy?
No. I didn't know Disco Inferno booked Chikara.
Anyway, I give the show a thumbs up, not a big thumbs up. On Cage Match, I gave it a 6. I do weigh heavily on getting me excited to see things. I don't even know we were talking about this. We're talking about Supercard of Honor, and I don't even know any of the matches that are going to happen. Supposedly, with the show ending, it's going to be Eddie versus Claudio. We got some topics, though. So I think the first thing we want to talk about is how do we feel about Claudio Castagnoli being the top guy here? He's the Ring of Honor champion.
Two-time.
Two-time. Yeah, two-time. And, I'll say this. I don't think Tony has done the job he needed to do as a booker to get the stain of Claudio's WWE run off him. He doesn't seem like a big a star as he could be. But I think he is a good guy to be Ring of Honor champion, and he's not. It's not CM Punk, it's not MJF, but he might be the best guy for this new Ring of Honor promotion to be the top guy right now.
He might be. I don't know if that makes him good at it, but man, again, I gotta give Tony Khan the benefit of the doubt here. There aren't a lot of good options for that spot. Claudio as the champion was a lot more palatable to me when the Briscoes were the tag team champions. But now you've got a gutted tag team division. You have Mark, but Mark's not really top guy material. Samoa Joe is not top guy material at this stage of his career. And there's just not a lot of guys that you could plug into that top spot. Which maybe it's fine now because they don't have a TV deal. But man, it just who if it wasn't Claudio, who could it even be? You can't sign Zack Sabre Jr.
I'd go it's not like this promotion's worried about drying. I'd go with Mark Briscoe.
Do you think he could?
Is something build?
Do you think he could be the top guy right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Man, I don't know. Watched a lot of Mark Brett. I'm just thinking
what's Claudio bringing in as champion that Mark couldn't do, and I feel like Mark's a much better promo, much bigger personality, more recognizable just picture wise.
I don't know. I think with Claudio, you have the fantasy that he will draw European fans. I don't know if that's happening. Tony Khan has a lot more data and information. There's also the possibility that Mark Briscoe, being the face of the company, could draw unwanted attention because of what happened with Jay. I'm not sure.
Well,
I have a name for you. I don't even know if he can wrestle. Adam Cole.
To be the top guy in Ring of Honor?
Yep.
If I was Tony Khan, I wouldn't want to waste him on this, what am I gonna call this? This vanity project. I'd rather have him on Dynamite, especially when you have like John Moxley versus Evil Uno in
Okay.
the main event. Like,
I
can't. They actually did that. Just remember.
there is a degree
I'll
of
say this.
overlap. Go ahead.
I'll say this really quick before I forget. We had a better main event on Ring of Honor than they did on Dynamite.
True. Yeah, you can't argue with that.
I'm sorry, I cut you out. What were you gonna say?
There's a degree of overlap and redundancy having Maxwell Jacob Friedman as your world champion, and then having Adam Cole underneath him. It's a lot of similarity in gimmick and presentation. Wouldn't it be better for both guys if Cole was on a different show?
I think Cole's turning face, though. I think.
Adam Cole can't be a babyface.
I think he could wrestle it, but I don't know if he could like. I think you are right in terms of character and promos. Like, I think he's just better as a heel.
I don't think he's comfortable being a babyface. I think he is a really great, nice person. I don't think he has... Because a lot of the biggest babyfaces in history are kind of jerks. Like, Hulk Hogan in real life, kind of a douchebag.
Uh-huh.
Like, it takes a certain kind of negative quality to know how to turn those positive qualities up to like a 12. Whereas Cole is like a natural, normal guy. I don't see him as a babyface. Maybe Tony will try it. I don't know. I just don't think it'll work.
I don't think someone needs to be shitty to be a good babyface. Like, I'll bring up like Bruno Sammartino, Ricky Steamboat, Sting.
Oh, hey, maybe Ricky Steamboat beat his wife. I don't know.
Well, wouldn't any good husband do that? I'm kidding.
Cut that out.
No, keep it in. Let everyone use this in like 5 years. Like, cancel him, and then I can finally they'll cancel me. I can finally concentrate on my chess career where I like lose, and then I'll go on to the next thing where I become a pro wrestler. Yeah, that's it. That'll be the timeline of events.
That's a good plan.
We talked a lot about Dark. That's one of our topics. Anything on Supercard of Honor you wanted to bring up before we talk about the differences in Ring of Honor eras?
So, do we get 4 or 5 shows? Do you know before Supercard of Honor?
I don't know.
Let's say 5. If you had 5 shows, you knew you had 5 2-hour, it seems like, TV broadcasts to get to Supercard of Honor. It seems like you could have done more here.
Oh, absolutely.
It seems like you would have tried to do more here. But, okay, just really quick, going down, who is ascending as we go towards Supercard of Honor? Mark Briscoe. You could argue the Kingdom. I don't think Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be back. Christopher Daniels, but he has no direction. Konosuke Takeshita, but he has no direction.
Sure, Christopher Daniels going up in age. That's a direction.
Ari Daivari? Is it going to be Ari Daivari and Christopher Daniels? Being serious?
I told you the next feud is Christopher Daniels and the Trustbusters.
I think it could be. I really do. Madison, Rayne, and Skye Blue, but no direction. Plus, I don't know if they're even on this show. Like, they were on the show. Are they going to be next week or 2 weeks from now? I don't know. It's not like Ring of Honor is going to have a women's tag team division. Willow Nightingale, we know where she's going. So, a few people, and most of them directionless. I don't know. I love Ring of Honor. I used to be excited for every show. I am not yet excited for Death Before Dishonor. You said you gave this show a thumbs up. I'll say I give it a thumbs, like at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
You know, it was alright.
And on Cage Match, I gave it a 6 out of 10. Like, there was things there's things I liked, things I hated. You mean Mark Sterling?
Yep.
And and Wheeler's promo, but I do like I said, I do like Eddie coming in, and that does excite me. That's that's the one match that I'd be excited for at Supercard of Honor. It's probably gonna happen. Eddie versus Claudio.
That's a good main
would
event.
interest me, but like you're saying, for the rest of the card, might be slim pickings.
Right, and what's the name of the show again?
Supercard of Honor.
Supercard?
Yeah. It's not much of a supercard. I wanted to say, since on the other program, people can't stop pointing at the WrestleMania sign. This is a joke. Like, I see on at Universal Studio, there's a Supercard of Honor like thing on their light deal, whatever. They just have like Slim J or Daivari, some of the Trustbusters, just point at the sign just to clown on WWE for a minute there.
Maybe Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson will be at Supercard.
Hey, that's a match.
And they need some stars. You can't call it Supercard of Honor and have the co-main event be like Willow Nightingale versus Athena.
True. Let's see. So I think this will be our last topic before we head out. The differences between the old Ring of Honors and this Ring of Honor. I mean, it's pretty clear. This is more of a sports entertainment AEW type of thing that's cosplaying to be like what Ring of Honor was. This show was very different, I feel, from the first HDNet episode and the first Sinclair episode. Those were very exciting. This was better than Dark was, but Dark is infecting, like I said before, is infecting this show. Again, it's Tony Khan booking, so of course it would. This show looks better than Ring of Honor has ever looked before, but
I like the production.
Yeah, and I'll say this. It's typical with past Ring of Honors, except HDNet. I remember Mike Hogwood was on there. This announce team is the best announce team in wrestling, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. I think a lot of people feel that way.
I don't know. I was seeing people giving Excalibur love on the Discord server.
Okay, well, we'll not talk about those guys.
Nah, we won't talk about Excalibur and Tony Schiavone and Taz.
Anybody that thinks Tony Schiavone has been good needs an examination on the head.
He's good at making me want to not watch.
Tony Schiavone is good at seeming like he's not watching. Every once in a while he starts drooling and he goes, "Isn't that's the best?" That's all he says.
Tony Schiavone hasn't been a good wrestling announcer as long as I've been alive.
Whoa. Probably. Yeah, that's probably right.
That's how I feel about him. Anyway, and I guess, compared to, prior Ring of Honors, I'm just thinking about, when these eras started. There seemed to be, I watched the first episode of Ring of Honor on Sinclair Broadcasting, and there was way more excitement into, what's happening. Best in the World 2011 happened. When the show on HDNet started, Nigel McGuinness was world champion. And, there was Man Up just happened, so there was a lot more excitement going on here. For the Tony Khan version, there wasn't much shows going on. Jay Briscoe just died, so unfortunate events really affected the vibe going into this show. But I also have to say, because of the 2-hour format and the level of stars, I'm just not excited as I was at the start of these different eras.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's weird that they were calling this the new era or whatever, considering they started running shows a year ago. Wasn't that the start?
It didn't like that would be the start. Although it wasn't a full ongoing promotion at the time. It was just like,
well, I don't need to rip on anybody. I'll just keep that to myself.
Man, you can rip on me as much as you want.
I wasn't gonna rip on you. I was gonna. Like,
I'm kidding.
You're saying a full ongoing promotion includes like a weekly show. I mean, are we sure Impact has a ongoing promotion? Has anybody bearing witness to that? Does NWA have an ongoing promotion?
Unfortunately, they do. The NAA has like more TV going, well, almost as much TV going on as Ring of Honor, and it's sick. It's sick. I've watched a couple of these. No matter what I say about AEW, like watching Dynamite or anything, like watching NAA USA Weekly is like would be such a much worse experience. Like like people say WWE is the worst promotion ever. Like Main Event is definitely better than Power and NAA USA.
Right. I watched Paragon Pro Wrestling where Gangrel in his 50s was the ace. Yeah, everything WWE has ever done is better than a lot of stuff that gets on TV in these weird local markets.
Absolutely. I think this show went on an hour longer than what we were shooting for.
Oh yeah. I wanted like half an hour. I really wanted to fine tune this and like really know exactly what we're going to talk about, when we're going to talk about it, for how long. And then I decided like it seems like it makes a lot more sense to just go. And then we'll revise next week and do better next week. And, hopefully we'll be more exciting and more, on the ball next week. Just hopefully we'll improve.
Yeah, this is like our first episode on Honor Club. It's not great, but we're as time goes on, we're hoping to get better and not get worse, not worse.
Right.
This ain't this ain't our HGNet. This is our Honor Club, our first Honor Club episode. To compare. So this is airing on, of course, Gopher and Tuck and Spotify. Gopher and Tuck's YouTube channel. They upload video game stuff all the time. They're playing High on Life, Pokemon. I do a podcast with Gopher every week that airs on Saturdays called On Top of the World. This is going up on Tuesdays, the same time Top of the World goes up on. Gopher, he streams on Twitch. There's a link in the descriptions to join his Discord if you ever want to get notifications for that. You often play Halo with him, right?
I wouldn't say often. Sometimes. Sometimes,
and you play Fall Guys. I'll join in the fun on Fall Guys when I'm available. Check him out. Sometimes we talk. Well, we do wrestling trivia on Top of the World. You definitely gotta check that out. So you gotta tell me. Is Gopher the one you think that cheats on?
Yes. Yes. Justin, I'm sorry when you go to edit this, but yes, Justin, I believe, has cheated in some of our wrestling trivia games.
Is he like got the vibrator? And is Abdel the one sending them messages?
Yep, that's exactly how it goes. He's got the anal beads. And Abdel's got he texts in Morse code.
I'm not even gonna explain it to the people who don't know.
The fucked up part is Gopher doesn't know Morse code.
See, this podcast and all Gopher and Tuck content is sponsored by the energy drink powder. Their website www.w.gg. Link is in the description to get a discount. If you just go to the website, use the code GopherTuck. Not Gopher and Tuck, just GopherTuck to save 10% off on their products. I enjoy their energy drink these powders. I've been losing a lot of weight. I've been drinking less stuff like Rockstar and Monster and Coke. I've been taking that out of my diet, and I've been losing weight. Like October, I was around 240 or something. Now I'm around 220, so I've been doing a lot better weight wise.
That's great, man.
And I think especially for people like me who live in rural Alaska, getting Dubby is a big money saver compared to like paying $4 a can for these Monster or these NOS or whatever it is, these energy drinks.
And you're saying W will help you lose weight?
I think it does because it also has protein. Like I'll skip breakfast and I'll drink that instead. Although,
do they have like? Is it a live animal in the W, or is it the protein powder?
It's a protein powder.
Oh,
powder. I think it's a powder.
I heard on the street corner that W gives you superpowers. Is that true?
I do feel like I have a superpower right now.
I'll have to try it.
I can't reveal. I can't tell you what powers I got because then everyone will know who I am. And I try to live this double life.
Does Dovey help you live the double life?
Yeah. Oh yes, definitely. It has caffeine and everything.
You live the Dubby life.
True. True. Do you have anything to advertise to the folks before we go?
Yes. My thing to advertise is please comment. I know that please find it on YouTube, leave a comment. Let us know how we can do better. We already know it needs to be shorter. Really narrow it down. Nobody wants to listen to us for 90 minutes. Oh, maybe some sickos, but
I thought we were going to go the same direction as Jim Cornette and start doing like 7-hour episodes.
Well, I mean, if we ever start doing 7-hour episodes, we might as well go live stream it.
Yeah, we'll treat like these Ring of Honor episodes like the Zapruder films. And, like,
well, maybe there's more depth in the Zapruder films. There's more. There were better promos, that's for sure.
Yeah, guys, please comment. We're definitely open to any constructive criticism.
Also, if you have no suggestions, but you just want to agree with us that Mark Sterling needs to leave, comment that. It'll help my day. It'll make me feel better.
Absolutely. Let everyone know that Mark Sterling needs to be out of Ring of Honor. Just post that on Facebook right now. Like, just go to your timeline. Just say, man, Mark Sterling needs to get the hell out of Ring of Honor. Just post that on your time without any context. Except maybe share this episode along with it so people know what you're talking about.
Like, if you feel real strongly, like, you could write it on your forehead and go to Walmart. If people ask you about it, you just go, hey, this is a free country. I can do what I want. But who shouldn't be able to do what they want is Mark Sterling, because I don't like it. He needs to be off my show.
Hell yeah. Guys, thanks for listening to the podcast. We're going to be up every Tuesday as long as we decide to keep on doing this. I had a lot of fun. Have a good rest of your day.
Peace.